GenRight Nation. Tony and Jeff coming to you live today, as we do every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So if you're watching live, thank you. You're going to get a chance to win a $250 K&N gift card. You're going to want to stay tuned for later in the show. We're going to ask a trivia question, and all you got to do is answer that. Be the first one to answer it, and you'll win the card. We're doing that every Tech Talk through the end of the year. So by all means, stay tuned. We're also going to do another thing where if you write a review on our website, we're going to take those names and we're going to put them in that little tumbly thing. And you are going to win a bottle of the fancy whiskey over there. What is that, Jeff?
Gold Bar.
Gold Bar.
It's Hughes whiskey.
It's yeah, one of our customers.
Yeah.
And a GenRight sweatshirt. So definitely want to get in on that. So easy to do. Just go to the product you have and you like, and write a quick 1-sentence or 2-sentence review, and then you're in on that.
And put your name.
Yeah.
Not anonymously.
Or we don't know who you are. Yeah. So today is the first day of summer, so that's
Is it really?
Know
that.
the 21st, June 21st. So if we were in Moab, we could go up Pritchett and hike to that spot where you could see the sun shine through the rock on the Serpent.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I've hiked there, but not on this day. It's getting pretty
Okay.
warm there right now, so.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool.
That's cool. Let's do next year's live from Moab.
yeah, there you go. That's a good idea.
Nice to wheel it, not during EJS.
If you're watching live, you get the opportunity to ask us questions, and all you need to do is enter your information in the comments section, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, and those will be read to me, and I'll be able to answer those best I can.
Oh, can they swap for a non-alcoholic prize if they win the raffle for
Sure.
writing reviews?
Sure.
Yes.
All right.
We'll send them
We'll figure something out.
yeah, we've got sodas and stuff around here too.
We're not
Hippie
gonna
sodas.
send them a Coca-Cola. We'll figure something.
I'll send them a case of something.
We'll substitute this.
There you go. One of our nice mugs.
There you go.
Yeah, great idea. Okay. We did extend our Father's Day sale. It was really popular, and not everybody got in over the weekend. They were busy, so we extended it. So if you're still shopping,
We're flooded with calls Monday because Father's Day fills up pretty quickly. As being a father, so so it's a pretty good sale. We haven't ran 15% off in a long time.
in a long time, yeah. So both you and I were in here working on Jeeps. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Story of our lives. It's fun
yeah,
though.
good stuff. Okay, featured product. Jeff, why don't you talk about the?
Wait, first they're going to tell you who's here.
Oh yeah, who we got?
Who's here?
Jerome says hi.
Cool.
Patrick Vaughan and Rick Harrington. Art Warner, Steve Donnell, Deborah Carnell.
Nice. You just
Happy late birthday, Art.
Hutch May is watching, and Steve Bird.
nice.
Jordan Taylor, Bonnie Nordgren, Albert Gutierrez and Don Cars, Tammy Bird, Gary Swagger, Joe Mink, Bo Fisher, Esther Parrott Newcomb, Byron Roberts, Alex Israel, VB Tom, Brandon Nelson, Jeffrey Rorda, Ricky Ponce, Alan Dobbs.
I know those names. Those are from all over the country.
And then we've got Hunter, Dinger, James Roberts, Kathy McCavis, Rick Turner, Kevin Kay.
I just
Bunch
talked to
of
Kathy
people.
and her husband about the JL cage they're putting in.
Oh, nice. I
That's
heard
cool.
Jeffrey Rorda. We haven't seen him on a trail in a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
I'd like to see him again sometime soon.
Yeah.
Where you at, Jeff?
And Travis Janice says, hey, Jeff and Tony.
Hey.
Cool.
Oh, Marie Weber. Hi, Nana.
Oh, hey,
Nana.
Mom.
Jim Smith from Colorado.
Awesome.
Lots of people.
Cool.
Okay, now you can continue.
All right, so now we're going to give you a quick peek at this. I'm actually pretty excited about this.
I've been waiting for this for a while because I can't fit the big one in the back of my Jeep. So this is going to go in pretty soon.
Yeah, and if you've got a 4-door, this takes half the space.
Yep.
So that's pretty nice. It mounts way forward, so you can still put larger items in the back. Tip it up so they can see these things. So we changed the pattern in the bottom so you can run these quick releases and put them wherever you want.
Yep.
And
So-
tie down your gear, whether it's a a bag or a ice chest or whatever it is.
And who makes these? Max?
I don't know, that they're pretty universal. That one
Okay.
might be a Mac, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty darn cool. So this particular one has the mounts for a JL. We just test fit it, and everything was good. So that's a new thing that you guys will see on the website pretty soon. Jamie will take pictures of this, and we'll get this baby going for you. So
Pretty light, too.
pretty light.
It feels very solid.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we got here. So I do want to remind everybody, this show is where I share a bunch of my personal experience here. And my intent is to show you the right way to do something so that you're doing it right the first time. It is not the only way to do it. You're certainly welcome to take whatever you want from this show and apply it to whatever you want to do. That's part of the fun of building a Jeep. And in addition, this is a great opportunity for everyone that's watching to ask a question live. So because typically if you've got that same question, so does 10 other people. So it's a cool way to do it.
And every question that we hear read is stuff we get in the office and sales
All day long.
all the time. So trust me, there's at least 3 people in the live wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Chase just jumped on,
Cool.
Jeez.
All right.
and
So-
Craig Colbert.
Nice.
Hi, Craig.
Yeah, so everybody remember to turn on your subscribe. That way, as long as you like and follow, you'll get the notices for when we do go live, and then it's super easy for you to not miss something. Today, we are going to play a video. We just installed some Vision X lights and on our JK, and we're going to do that, and then we're going to come right back here, and we're going to talk about what you need to have in your vehicle to get ready post-trip, and we'll go through all that stuff. So definitely stay tuned after the video. Hey everybody, Tony Pellegrino from GenRight Off-Road, and today we're going to put a set of Vision X Vortex lights in this Jeep JK. All right, we're going to start by popping the hood open. And the first thing that you want to do is work on getting the grill off. So you just pop up these little inserts. I don't know if you saw that or not. This pops down. You just pop that up. You pop up the center part first, and then the whole thing pulls out. They're all along the top here. So you just get those out along the top. Oh. There you go. Sometimes they stay together, and sometimes there's one that's together, but sometimes they just pop apart. So you've got to get the center section up before the rest of it will come out. And we got one more. There we go. Okay. So now, down at the bottom of the grill, there's a couple of clips right here that allow this thing to come off and get the grill off. Then you need your T15 Torx. Unscrew this steel bezel from the headlight, and then it'll unplug on the back, and you pop in the new lights. So you could see these got really cloudy and nasty just from sun. They're a little cracked, probably been abused. So it happens. One more down here. So there's a total of 4. Oh, don't lose those screws, they're tiny. Okay, so now you pop out the headlight, and in this case, it looks like they've zip tied the clip together. So I'll grab some snippers, and we'll undo that. It might have been coming apart by itself before, so sometimes people do that. to make sure it will fall apart. Oh, yeah, it was. It is super loose. So now we'll get rid of this old headlight. We'll crack open the new ones and put a new one in there. These are really nice. There's a feature on these where you can do what's called all on. It's not straight legal when you do that, but the two headlights are as bright as a 52-inch light bar. So, okay, so there's the new light. And you just put it with the Vision X up on top. We're going to plug this in. There we go. Now this white wire would be to hook it to a running light, and then what'll happen is you'll get the white outside, or the halo. You just gotta locate this, and there's some little detents in here to lock the headlight in, and then you put the ring back on, and you are good to go. There we go. Put the bolts in, and we're good to go. All right, everybody, I want to show you really quickly how to wire the halo on one of the Vision X Vortec lights. So the plug itself is simple. You just plug that in. It's a direct plug-in from the factory headlight. Then I ran a separate wire for the halo, and I'm going to walk across and show you this. So it runs across with the rest of the wires, ties into this headlight, which I just finished mounting, around and into the fuse box. Come over on this side, and we put in one of these little guys to tie it in to the ignition. So when the ignition's on, then the halo comes on. So this plugs in right next to this tan box right here in the fuse block. So it goes right there, and we just run that in, and then you can close this up, and that's buttoned up. And then, so that runs over to here. We're going to, since somebody's had these headlights on and off a few times, we're gonna not only plug this in, but we're going to zip tie it so that it stays, because it's loose right now. And we'll zip tie that, and then plug this guy in, and this thing will be ready to rip. We'll put the grill back on, which is just held on with a few fasteners, and clip it back on, and we'll show you what it looks like as soon as it's done. Okay, to put the grill on, you want to make sure that you locate this pin right in the middle, and then slide the two clips in. There we go. Okay, then you go around and you just put all these little plastic things back in that hold the top part on. Don't push down the top first. This little guy has to be slid up. Yeah, so slide the. Step one is get that in, then you can push that. Then once you got all those in, you need to pop the blinkers back in. So these just go in and rotate. Come on. Like that.
Cool.
Now, push all those guys back in.
What pretty new headlights.
Yeah, they're nice. And like I said in previous videos, these are as bright, when all are on, as bright as a 52-inch light bar. So we've got
This
everything
one, this one,
buttoned
this
up.
one.
Okay, I'll pop that back in. And of course, the phone rings.
Let's turn the key on.
Yep. Not anymore. Okay, so you got the key on so you can see the halos.
Yeah.
Right? Looks good.
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yep, easy to do. All right, hopefully everybody enjoyed that video. I am going to apologize for the hum in the background. That is one of our guys welding aluminum, so it makes that really loud buzz noise. And when we shot that video, I didn't know that the guy was welding in the background, so sorry about that. I did want to answer one other question that we had while the video was playing, which was, do we offer a light, a 9-inch light for the JL? And the answer is Vision X makes an adapter from the JL headlight into run the 7-inch Vortec that you just saw us install. So if you don't have the LED package on your JL, you can go that route, and that's a pretty cool way to get those headlights in there. So, and there is one other option on those headlights, which is called the all-on option. It is not street legal, but when you turn on your brights, everything stays on. That's how I run them, and it is bright. It's as bright. 2 of those lights is as bright as a 52-inch light bar. So
Yeah, you don't need a light bar.
no, you definitely don't need a light bar. Jeff's running the same thing. All of us actually are.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. So we also had a question about the app. So let's.
Actually, it's just a Two Feather channel. Thank you, GenRight, for updating the event calendar on the app.
Nice. Okay. So let's just show everybody real quick. If you haven't uploaded the app yet, so show them right where that is.
App, events with the little calendar, then go through. If you click on July, maybe, you can see it will be at Hot Springs, 13th through 16th. You click on the 22nd, you see we'll be at JK Land. For a Jeep day there. Me and Steve are going to work out the details tomorrow morning, but Tony will be there.
And then there's a sign up for Hot Springs on our website right now, or no? Because we were talking about T-shirts and we wanted people to pre-register.
Yeah, there will be soon if there's not.
Okay, so we'll get that
updated. Jamie's
updated.
got to that yet.
Okay.
Rick Turner just has a nice comment. I, for one, am glad I found your tech talk. Stopped me from wasting a lot of money. Takes more patience for a working man, but doing it right the first time. Can't wait to trail with you guys when I'm done.
Yes, I wish I could have done it right the first time. It took me like 3 times to get it. I know it took you at least that many.
Yeah, I'm still doing it.
Parker's asking, do you install 3 and 4 links under YJs that have been stretched to LJ length?
Yeah, that's what Jamie's Growler is.
Yeah, we don't typically install them here, but we have tons of dealers in the area and probably wherever you're at that have done tons of them that can knock it out.
If you just call in, we can get you connected with somebody in your area.
Yeah.
So, no problem. Was there something else we wanted to mention before we went on?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so we're gonna, I was gonna give you guys a quick update on the 392. So this was one of our recent builds. I just finished test driving it, a little over 400 miles. The customer came, got to drive it, said he's had many cars built, and this was by far the cleanest, best presentation, drove the best, everything about it, of any car he'd ever had built. So this, by the way, is a picture from the gallery on our website. So up in that upper bar, you can click on gallery and take a look at all the different pictures we have of this build. If you're curious, it did turn out very nice.
Yeah, it's my favorite ESX so far.
So
It is
far.
Me
beautiful.
too.
Yeah.
It is
very
so
nice.
pretty.
Okay, next, we're ready to get on to our main topic today. All right, what to bring and preparation.
Quick question.
If you end up like that guy, you're going to have to bring everything.
Yeah, he's having a
Whole
bad
shop.
day. What's the question?
What are your thoughts on wrapping exhaust to reduce heat?
Yeah,
We're huge exhaust
we're
wrap
huge.
people.
Yes, DEI.
Everything's DEI wrapped.
I don't have any out here, but yeah, DEI is we've got it on our website. There's even a bigger offering, off of their website or generally on the internet. We carry the stuff that we commonly use.
Yeah, so we'll carry like the tunnel shield that we put on our firewall and under our transmission.
Yep.
The muffler wrap, which is just kind of a smaller tunnel shield, wraps around it, and then obviously the heat wrap, and we wrap from the headers all the way to the tip.
Yeah.
And it helps a ton.
A ton, yes. It'll even, like if your exhaust is a little bit tingy, it'll mellow that out and make it a little more solid sound. So anyways, yeah, I would not drive my Jeep without it.
No, and if for something does happen on the trail and you got to crawl under there, it cools down and makes it a
So you
lot
can get
better
your
in
arm
case
in
you
there.
have to put your forearm on exhaust or something.
Yeah.
The time before you can do that is reduced
Yeah,
quite a bit.
quite a bit.
And are you going to Jeepers or any other Rubicon trips this summer?
We've got a Rubicon trip later in the summer. You know, everything with the snow has gotten delayed, even though I'm seeing more people in there now.
Yeah. Did Art ask that?
A couple of different people are asking.
Yeah, I won't be able to make it to Jeepers. I'm doing a lot of East Coast travel this year, so in fact, I, you know, am going to be coming back from Smoky Mountain Jeep.
Yeah.
So
A follow-up question on the wrap. Are there any water or rust issues with the wrap? Always under the impression it would cause issues.
I'm running stainless steel exhaust, so
I'm also running stainless steel exhaust.
yeah,
So not with us.
yeah. It dries fast. I
It
don't
dries.
know that it would promote rust any more than
No, and it's so hot
yeah.
that you just start it up
It
and let
bakes
it dry
off.
out.
Yeah.
It's,
You'll see it steaming.
you will.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
And do you have any update on the scissor jack?
No, other than that was going to be one of the things I pulled out of my Jeep to talk about here today. But no, we've been extremely busy. We had many people that wanted to buy our cage for a soft top, and that completely sent us into a tailspin for getting the instructions done and doing all that stuff. So I apologize. We're spread way too thin. That is the best thing I can say. So.
Esther says, can't wait to see you guys at Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion.
Yeah, it should be fun. We're looking forward to Hot Springs. We're looking forward to being there. I am in Atlanta with JK Land, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, let's talk about this. This is a subject that is near and dear to both Jeff and my heart because every time we go out, we're dealing with these people
Yep.
that are unprepared.
Correct.
So,
Plus, we've been doing this so long, we've done a lot of learning. I'd
Yeah.
like to bring.
yes, so we're happy to share that information, and hopefully you can take one or two things from this and save your next trip. So let's start talking about spare parts. So the first thing I want to tell you about spare parts is just because you buy something new, whether it's an alternator, a starter, whatever, right? Even a fuel pump, does not mean that it will plug right in and work in your vehicle. Most likely, the guy at the auto parts store, or you bought it online, even worse, you got the wrong thing. So the only way you're going to know if it's the right thing is to actually install it. So here's what I recommend. I recommend before your thing is broken, right? It's kind of the beginning of the season. You take off your alternator, you take off your starter, you even take off your serpentine belt, and you put brand new ones on. Okay? Make sure the new ones work. By the way, the ones you just took off, your spares now, are in perfect working order. Right? So you save those. I usually date them. I'll write on them, you know, like, hey, removed on this date, you know, in good condition, whatever. And then box those up. And this would apply to power steering lines on the high pressure side, power steering pump, right? There's lots of things that would apply to.
Anything that'll stop your wheeling trip.
Yeah. So, and then I wrote down, you know, in addition to the stuff that I pulled out here, I wrote down a bunch of stuff that I think you should have. And by the way, on our website, I've got these Excel spreadsheets that you guys can download. And this covers parts of the Jeep, tools in the Jeep, and tools in the truck or RV, like basically back on the trailer, and how to nut and bolt check your vehicle. A very complete list of what you're going to want there. So all of those, and I'll get to where you can download those here in a minute. So let's just start talking about stuff on the table. Or are there any questions about spare parts?
Well, Tom said he just got his packages of glue tread in, much needed by a lot of people at High Desert Roundup. Made me a believer in that stuff.
Nice.
James Goldman, doing a trip on the Rubicon in a couple weeks. So on top of my normal gear, I have my 12-volt fridge, my solar panel, my serpentine belt, and my spare tire. And Zach Gubtill said, take a section of chain with you. Biggest thing EJS told me.
That is in my tool bag.
Well, that's the one he used.
That's the one.
Yep.
Yep.
Good call, Zach.
Yeah, so
One question. On
Yeah.
the wrap, exhaust wrap, any issues with the stainless headers cracking?
No. If they're cracking, it usually means that they're not isolated enough. So you need to have, there's something in there is too rigid, and you just need one of those braided flex joints. So
And VB Tom wants to know, do you have a list of snacks?
a list of snacks.
That's driver's choice.
Yeah, that is driver's choice. I do plan ahead. So I definitely make sure I have enough food and water in there.
Do bring snacks.
You know, I'm not talking like filet mignon, but I'm not going to starve in the night. So
I would starve. 100%.
Just wheel with Josh.
If
He's
Jamie
here.
didn't bring extra beef jerky, I would starve every time.
Josh brings his 12-volt oven and cooks full-on meals on the trail.
yes,
and
he
he's
does. And
watching.
I have mine around here somewhere.
Where are the web wipes again?
Yeah, those definitely are in the Jeep,
They're in
including
the Jeep.
sunscreen.
Gotta have it. Yeah, the
Yes.
manifold burritos.
Manifold
That's what
burritos.
Josh does.
Okay, so let's start with spares because that's our first thing here. Keep in mind, it is very inexpensive for you to carry a spare fuel pump. Now, this is not the whole module. This is what your in-tank fuel pump looks like. All of them are made by Bosch or Walboro, regardless of whose name might be on it. And they're really easy, direct plug-ins. I would carry one of these in your tool bag, okay? And it could be your backup one. And most people have never replaced their fuel pump, but for as much as I hate to say it. So it's probably time. They're not that expensive. And just put a new one in and then take your old one and save it as a spare. It'll get you out of trouble. We've over and over, I've seen these where somebody comes down on a rock and bangs real hard, and it's just a little electric motor in here, and you can kind of stun it. It's like a bird that hit the windshield. It stops working, and you're going to want a spare, right?
I don't carry one, but I might need to.
Yeah. So I have the dual pump unit, so I've already got one in my tank, and I just switch
I
over.
do have my factory one in my trailer.
Okay, so that's good.
Somebody
Okay,
could
so
grab
go
it.
get it. Yes. Next thing is
I'm a little more limited
Oh,
on
Mario
room than you are.
says segue
Yeah.
into fuel pump access panel.
yes, which I actually have here, but it's buried. Next thing, let's hold up this axle. So
little guy?
that little guy.
Spare
So-
tie rods and U-joints.
Here's if you've never taken your axle out of your Dana 30 or Dana 44, this is about how big it is. And
It's like the size of a thick Sharpie.
so all of you that ask if you can run 37s or 40s, yeah, probably not.
No.
Anyways, you can pick these up from the junkyard or even friends that have upgraded very inexpensively. If you don't carry a whole assembly, I recommend that you carry at least a U-joint and the tool to change it. So just heads up on that, okay? Next thing would be a power steering pump. So a pump comes to you like this without anything on it. No fittings, no pulley, no nothing. I want you to carry one, again, complete, right? So buy a new one, take yours out, carry the spare, your old one is a spare, and keep it complete. I also recommend that with the serpentine belt. Mine's inside this bag, and I also have another one on the Jeep that's tucked away.
Yep.
So what other spares?
So I usually keep the full spare shafts in the trailer, but I do always have spare U-joints in my door bags.
Okay. So
Us
that's
TJ guys don't have room for a spare pump, spare
yeah,
axle
all that
shafts.
stuff. Yeah. So
Same with the pump, it's always
always on the trailer.
in the
Yeah.
trailer, yeah.
Yeah. So depending on what we're doing, like if we're racing, I'll carry a spare rear drive shaft on the vehicle, but otherwise I've
Yeah.
got those at the RV, right?
Same.
Bo Fisher suggests carrying a spare key in case
Yes.
your key gets wet, then
Yes.
the anti-theft won't work on the jails
Yeah.
and JKs.
We don't have keys, so
No, I know. I've actually always carried a spare hide key for sure because I have, in my case, I didn't lose the key. It was my buddies jacking around with me, but
that's funny.
the fun was over after I started the vehicle and drove away. So
That's a good call though, because Shane most recently got to HDR without his
without
keys.
his key.
Oh no.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he'd driven all the way to somewhere like Moab? That would have
I
been really
cannot.
bad. So, yeah, definitely a good idea. Other spares, hubs. We usually carry one of those in the
Yeah,
RV or trailer.
and that's something you can like work out with your buddies if you have the same access.
Yes. Oh,
Chances are you're not going to go through two.
okay,
of them.
so that brings up another subject. If you have unique things on your vehicle, you
Bring
better carry it.
And that was me before I went to Curry's. So I had to bring everything.
Yeah. So that's one of those things where whether it's if everybody else is running an LS and you've got a something else, or all your buddies have Hemis and you're the one guy that doesn't, like you need to carry whatever those things are that are unique
Need
to
new
that.
buddies.
New buddies.
Also, a wheel key.
A wheel, yes. Do not forget the wheel key. That there's a big run here where I don't know. There's like 1,000 people that go on the same trail, and every year somebody blows a tire off the wheel, and doesn't have the lug key. So don't be that person. Okay. Any other spares you can think of? I know on the list here I've got all the modules, right? Like the throttle position sensor. I've got
Yeah.
coils, plug wires,
I got that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
In a bin.
Yeah. I think for the JKJL guy, a wheel sensor would be a good call.
Yeah.
Those tend to kind of act up.
Maybe I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, so wouldn't be a bad call. And then if you've got one of the little taser programmers, you can cancel any kind of error codes.
As far as spares to bring with you, obviously at least one brake line.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so-
anything for a brake line.
Okay, so
Caps,
mine are here.
plugs.
Yep. So here's my spare brake lines.
Yep.
These are all set. All the fittings are on them. They're sealed in a plastic bag and they are ready to go, front
Yep.
and rear. Okay. This is. I
And
think this is
obviously brake fluid.
Oh, this is my U-bolt stuff for my drive
Mm-hmm.
shafts, right? So if I bust one of those, here's a whole bunch of hose clamps and random stuff to fix something, including baling wire, which is the fix when a zip tie won't
Yeah.
do, right? Something hot.
One thing Jordan had that saved me when something got in my training line at HDR, that rescue tape.
Yes.
That stuff's-
I think I was getting there. Right there. Rescue
There it
tape.
That stuff, I never use it. That stuff is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've got some radiator stop leak, some RTV, just the usual stuff, right?
Coolant. Duct tape. These
Duct
are
tape is
helpful
right.
suggestions from our
They use
Carry
viewers.
it.
gaffer tape, not duct tape.
Spill kit or shop towels if you got
Here's
oil
my
issues.
spare-
We usually have a lot of shots.
Spare crank position sensor,
Yeah.
right? So definitely some of that stuff. I've got spare Heims.
I do carry spare steering Heim with me.
Yeah.
Or track bar Heim. As far as Johnny joint, I keep a right and a left in the trailer.
And then here's common bolts,
Yeah.
right? Washers, nuts. Something falls off, especially a control arm. You're gonna want something big. Here's my serpentine belt. And what else have I got hiding in here?
All these things to bring. What's a guy to do with a two-door?
Yeah.
You
Well,
find a way.
Bring
yeah.
your friends.
Yeah, you bring your friend Jamie with an LJ. He's got all kinds of room.
So
right there.
obviously a whole electrical pack I've kind of slimmed down
That's something you slim down on. I went
crazy
my
on.
electrical. I
Yeah.
have everything in there now.
So I bring one big red wire that I can hot wire anything, right? The fuel pump,
Yeah.
the radiator fan, whatever needs hot wiring, that'll go from the battery to any point on the Jeep.
So I got a few wires, any type of connector I actually use on my Jeep.
Yep, some fuses.
A torch.
Nice. So you can do a little soldering or.
Well, I usually carry those self-solder
Oh,
connectors.
yeah.
Crimps, cutter, pretty much anything. I could rewire my whole Jeep on the trail now.
Diff
And
fluids.
you know where it all is.
Yeah.
PSC nuts if you run a Ram.
Yes. Okay, so we haven't gotten there yet. But I
rod
actually
ends.
have a bag that has the AN fittings in it so you can cap them off. So if you blow a power steering line,
Yeah.
you can cap stuff off. Super important because most of us don't carry enough power steering fluid. If you think there's something wrong with your steering and you jack with it for a couple, and I'm talking like 20 seconds, it's empty.
Yeah, your motor's flying, you may blow your pump.
Yeah, that fluid is gone. So unless you carry enough, which would be like 3 quarts, to refill your power steering, you're going to be borrowing from all your buddies, and you may even have to start putting brake fluid and tranny fluid and other stuff in there.
Yeah.
Spare spark plug wires.
Yep, I do have that, spare spark plug wires. I also bring ratchet straps. You never know, if something breaks and you got to pull it back over. Obviously, recovery equipment, first aid kit. And, even though I bring, a DeWalt, impact, I also bring a breaker bar.
Yeah.
Right.
Me
12
too.
volt
You never
welder?
know when you're going to go over to bumps and it's just going to get stuck on. The batteries are going to be dead. So.
Yeah. So.
12-volt welder.
Oh, yeah. Actually, we
that's
do.
a trailer item.
That is a trailer item, but
It's heavy. You don't want,
it's heavy.
You don't want this
But we
to
just
back
picked
you.
up the brand new Carnage welder.
Yeah.
And we've already used it on the first trip on other
I
people.
used it twice.
On other people.
Well, getting a bolt out, and some other guy had me weld his stock JT frame side track bar mount back on.
Yeah.
Jeff,
So-
do you carry a starter?
Well, I do in the RV.
Same.
Yeah, or the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We always have a starter, alternator, all those things is absolutely. I even carry
He went to
spare
town
knuckles.
and bought a new one.
What's that?
You bought a new one,
You did.
Jeff?
I did. Whoa, that was the brand new one that I put on. It lasted like 10 miles.
Yeah.
So I had to
Kelly
go down and buy a new
Sims
one.
says the Silver Surfer is now accepting credit cards for on-the-trail repair parts and tools.
Nice. Nice. I've got a whole separate recovery bag, right, with multiple straps and soft
Same.
shackles and all kinds of
Well,
stuff. So
I kind of just have those floating around my
yeah,
Jeep.
yeah. I do bring some latex gloves for the messy jobs, and hand cleaner and some of that kind of stuff. And then if Nick's watching, he'll be stoked to see my Leatherman, right? Everybody, that's a handy tool to just have tucked in the door bag. And he'll,
Yeah, he's a big Leatherman
He
guy.
is,
So
yeah.
we both have those now. Before me and Peter were pulling away, we're going over. He's like, "All right, and you need just take my Leatherman and stick it in the door bag." I'm like, "All right, I will go MacGyver out there."
That's right. That's right.
Robert Wheeler says he got a winch and had to use it on his first trip. It was in Pennsylvania. And Tom suggested carrying a first aid kit or medical.
Yep.
Bag.
Yep.
Right here.
Got
Now,
one.
Every time I get one of these, it ends up in 100 pieces, no matter where I put it. So I really like those soft ones. That are
Yes. Yes.
the ones that if you open up once, it takes 10 minutes to stuff everything back in there. But
Like a tent.
yeah,
You need a
but
tent.
it's well worth it.
A spare ORI?
Oh my!
Absolutely.
I don't even want to
not.
go there.
Absolutely not.
I don't even want to go there.
How do you pack it all?
These are my bags right out of Terremoto.
He's
So
got a JKU, so he's got quite a bit of room. I have to limit down what I bring. So my spare parts is usually where I limit it down, but for the toolkits is kind of where I don't try to cheap out on or
yeah.
cut out on.
Yeah.
But then again, you have to know your Jeep, so you have to know what's susceptible, what you definitely need tools for,
Yes.
what you can get by with an adjustable wrench.
Esther says you pack it all in a GenRight cargo tray, of course.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. Actually, this is my heavy tool bag.
Yeah.
This is packed on the floor right behind my seat.
And it's a pain in the butt to get out.
It is a pain in the butt to get out, but it keeps the weight down low. The other stuff that's not very heavy, yeah, that can go
Yeah.
anywhere.
That's
I'm not too worried about that.
Ari says hello.
Hey, Ari. So, let's see. I was just going to talk about.
RTV silicone?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Got it in here for
JB
sure.
Weld.
Yep. And a siphon. Pitman arm puller, tire plug kit.
The
right?
siphons come in handy on me before. One time we thought my fuel pump was messed up. We took over my fuel pump access point. We even took out the fuel pump, and it just turned out I was out of gas. So we had to siphon out of Josh's Jeep and Trail Hero.
There you go. Once you
like-
got the pump out, it's easy to siphon it, right?
One time that someone put power steering fluid in my brake reservoir, that could have used a siphon for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That was a problem.
That's more than a siphon.
That was a problem.
Otherwise, yeah, flashlights, that emergency tape, right? The safety tape, throttle cable if you still have a cable.
Yep. And
Pack a good spotter.
I always carry a separate handheld dual band rugged radio with me.
Yeah.
In case something happens to your Jeep and the power is down in your Jeep, you can at least flip that on to get a hold of someone.
Yes. Yeah, in fact, that's a good point because sometimes, if you're not having a good day, and I've had one of these on the Rubicon, where the Jeep started dying, so that meant we couldn't charge our phones. All of a sudden, we needed to go totally old school and get ourselves off the trail.
Yeah.
So you're not looking at your phone anymore with a map and stuff. You got to really know what you're doing. So that's part of being prepared.
Yeah, which another good point is the jump box that we always bring. Ours is a really nice Scotch one that actually has ports to charge your phone and a few other things too.
Flashlight and stuff on
so
it. Yeah,
it's,
pretty
those
handy.
things come in handy.
They do.
Oh, Esther says a sat phone, like the Garmin InReach.
Yeah, for sure. That's that. I do have a Garmin InReach. I highly recommend that. If you're really in trouble, that's.
I only wheel with Tony and Jamie, and they both have one, so I won't be paying for one.
He's got coverage. Yeah. What else have we got?
Make sure you pack a good spotter.
Let's see. I had a couple more notes on here. Okay. So next is we've kind of covered trail essentials. Think ahead, right? Think ahead about what could go wrong. So, and the reason I actually am mentioning this one is if you're not the one working on your vehicle, so if you're not the one that just tightened the caps on the drive shaft and know that they didn't get over tightened or cracked, then you need to be carrying a spare U-joint, okay? For sure. These are just the kinds of things that I want you to really consider. When's the last time I replaced that?
Yeah.
Do I hear funny noises already and I'm still going to go on the trip anyways? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then also, we can't help it, but we think of who's coming and what parts we may need to
That's
bring.
right. So we bring some extra stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time we wheel with Keith, we'll probably bring some spare lugs.
Yeah, okay, so recently, and actually, I think even 3 years ago, I was on the trail, and it seemed like everybody I ran across lost a caliper bolt. So,
Yeah.
there was just some weird phenomenon that I don't know if the rough road or what.
I don't know. That's something I need to get an extra of. It's on my
Yeah.
list. It's on
Yeah,
my
yeah.
phone that I want to carry
Yeah.
an extra.
And
of.
again, that's not a regular bolt,
No.
right? So these are the kinds
You're
of things
not
that
going to just go to Lowe's and pick one
yeah,
up.
or go, hey Tony, I saw you got some extra bolts. No, I don't have one of those. I got a control arm bolt.
Yeah.
I got something that'll get your steering off the trail, but
if I had one, I'd want payment for that baby right there on the trail. Pull a Kelly Sims.
okay. So next would be knowing the area. So I want you to know where the nearest gas station is, where the nearest auto parts store is, where the last time you had cell service or where you can get cell service, where the hospital is, where the nearest hospital is. These are all things that you should know about when you're going to, especially a new area.
Yeah, and another thing is every time you leave camp to go out the trail, pay attention to where you are in relationship to camp. There's so many people we bring out to Hammers and they break or they don't want to go on the next trail.
Right, and they're like, I'll just go back to camp. Well,
They have no idea where they're
they
going.
might as well be
haven't
coming
paid
from the
attention
moon.
at all.
That's right. So if you don't already have a GPS, you can download some apps. There's plenty of trail apps that are out there that'll even just follow you. So all you got to do is turn around and just follow the line back.
Or a lot of them, even if you don't want to go backwards down the trail you just came up, they're topographical, so you can pick the high points, see where the desert, go around, and eventually reconnect at the bottom of the trail and follow it back.
That's right.
So
That's right.
like
So,
Gaia or Lead
well,
Nav.
I mean, you know, when I came out to wheel with you, the first thing I did was open my GPS, mark where camp was. So
Yeah.
if I got separated, I'm like, okay, I may not know the most direct route, but I can just keep heading there, you know. So
which was good because we almost got separated in monsoon.
right. Yeah. So just plan ahead. The last thing would be, I know there's a lot of ham radio operators, and being a ham radio operator, you know, might allow you to get out where you don't have cell service, or if you don't have it in reach or something like that.
Esther has a good suggestion. Put your medical history in your glove box or center console in case of a medical emergency. Discuss at driver's meeting.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I signed up for that Life Flight service. It's like $100 a year and it covers the whole family. And if you ever have to get helicoptered anywhere, like the cheapest is like $4,000. So the $100 sign up is nothing.
Yeah.
And they'll get you anywhere. So that's pretty cool.
I don't have a glove box or a center console.
Well,
I'll
you gotta
get,
figure
I'll have to
out-
get my medical tattoo on my arm or something.
Put it in a plastic baggie and your
I'll get
sleeve.
a fanny pack.
There you go.
Jerome wants to know what the best communication device on the trails is nowadays.
Well, it depends on the group you're with.
Well, whatever the group you're with is running.
Yeah, because some are GMRS, some are race radio stuff.
Yeah.
Which race radio and ham are right there, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, we like the race radio, but that's just what we have from being part of the race team.
Yeah.
So, but I know GMRS is growing like crazy.
yeah,
So.
and I carry a handheld GMRS just so if we've got somebody in the group, I can relay over.
Yeah, and I think my handheld does both.
Yeah. So. Yep. Good question.
Anything but a CB, those are just terrible now.
Yeah, nowadays. Okay, any other questions? Like what? We got about 10 minutes left, so why don't you just fire away on the question? You had a long one when we were
Oh
watching
yeah,
the video.
in the very beginning. Okay. Hunter Dinger asked. This is kind of a long one, but I'm a college student with a 2010 JKU. I've got a 4.5-inch rock crawler springs in front and 3.5-inch rear. Have Bilstein shocks and drop brackets in front. What's the most economical way to start upgrading to your suspension system? Start with long arms or in front or rear? And then also, can I run your frame side front track bar bracket to get extra length on the track bar on the 2010 JKU with stock front sway bar and 4.5-inch coils and drag link flip?
Okay, so I'm going to cursory answer this, and then I'm going to advise that you call in and talk to Jeff or one of the other guys, because this is a big project, right? So the first thing that you're going to want to do is get our gas tank. That you got to get the gas tank out of the middle to start opening up your options. Once you do that, then you can install our cross members, which will allow you to run the flat belly. Then you can start to do some of the axle bracket stuff, but right now you can't change that track bar because it has to be the same length as your drag link, right? Once those don't match anymore, you're going to get nasty bump steer. And our track, remember, we don't run a sway bar in the front, so that track bar mount is not designed to have clearance for sway bar arms. So there's a lot going on there.
There is, yeah. You'd want to call in, and we kind of have to break it down in stages a little bit, and
Yeah.
kind of see what your stage budget would be. So.
Yeah, and people do it. We have a JK on our gallery that did it in stages, and it's still on coil springs with regular shocks. It doesn't even have
It's pretty much our entire elite minus the shots.
minus the coilover. So that's a good one to look at too. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully that kind of answers it. But otherwise, call in and talk to the guys. Okay, so more questions, or I'll keep going.
Rick Harrington says he has all the comms: GMRS, CB, ham, and race radio.
There you go. There you go.
And a sat phone.
And a sat phone. Yeah, sat phone's pretty handy.
Nope. Keep
Okay.
going.
So once we get back from a run, one of the things I do first is unless it's been in the mud or something nasty, I don't clean it. I want to see what it looks like, where the shiny spots are. By the way, dust will act differently around a crack. So it's really easy to visually inspect something before you've cleaned it. I'm sure you've figured out the same thing, right?
I do the same thing, but one of the things that me and you do a good job of is if we're on a week-long wheeling trip, we're looking over everything like at the end of the day.
Yes.
Every day.
Every day.
So by the time we get back, I've already done a pretty thorough visual inspection. So
Yeah.
I clean it like crazy, so I'm easy to work on. But
Yeah.
that's just because I've inspected it and I'm ready just to dive in.
Yeah, if I'm doing a multi-day wheeling trip, I'm gonna retorque the lugs every day. I'm gonna check beadlock bolts. If I've hit the steering or something, then I'll be down there checking that stuff. I'm looking for loose jam nuts on control arms. If I heard noises, I'm investigating wherever that stuff came from. So you got to stay after this stuff. It is not like wine. It will not get better with time.
And a lot of times, it's something so simple, it takes 5 minutes to do.
To fix.
And
if it breaks on the trail, you're spending hours.
You're out there for a good time, a long time.
Yeah,
so.
you're looking for the welder.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the truth.
People like, why do you check your Jeep so much? What we're doing with these, they're maybe not designed to do. So stuff's gonna
We're pushing the limit.
push the limit.
Yeah.
You're gonna come down on a rock and it may nudge that jam nut. So yeah, you just gotta go
Stay
over
after
it.
it.
And
That's right.
Most of the time it takes like 10 minutes an evening, and
That's right.
you're good to go by the fire.
So, visual, right? You're looking for leaks, something worn or shiny, things traveling, maybe hoses moved over on the reservoirs, loose stuff, obviously, cracked stuff. So I can tell you many times I've been on the trail, I come across a Jeep that's parked, and I'm like, that's weird. The guy just left his Jeep here. I take a look at it, and I notice not only is the control arm hanging down, but the bracket that used to attach the control arm to the axle is hanging down too.
Yeah, typically a stock bracket.
Yes.
And that,
so
you'd be shocked how often that happens.
that happens, yes. And what I can tell you is this. That bracket doesn't just break off all at once, okay? It was cracking before it broke. So had anybody even visually inspected it, they could have headed that off. Now, they've got a big problem, right? That's just what you were talking about.
Although the guy that got me into Jeeping, Mike Cover, he used to tell me that when you put a lift kit on your Jeep, it doesn't really start flexing to its full potential until the stock brackets get worn out and flexing. And he's one of those guys I was just new in Jeep, and you couldn't really tell if he was being serious or joking around.
Oh,
so
man.
That's funny. Turns out he was joking.
I've seen some hokey stuff out there to accommodate that. Don't forget your tires and wheels when it comes to inspecting. Look at the sidewalls of the tires, inside and out. If you can catch a cut or some kind of damage before it goes all the way flat, switch on your spare tire, something.
And keep that for your spare.
Yes, avoid a problem before it turns into a real problem.
I would say a percentage of every pit stop at King of the Hammers is they hit something, it's not flat, but they want the crew to check the inside and outside sidewalls of the tire.
Yeah.
We came in just to do that.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you can stop that before it happens, you're going to save a lot of time.
A lot of time. And then clean the vehicle, do a nice job, and then retorque or repair whatever there is. So this is a pretty complete list. And like I said, I've got this nut and bolt sheet with torque ratings, and it gives you the opportunity to write in what size wrench or what size socket. So you can customize this for your vehicle. And then you check the boxes. Just photocopy this thing and do it.
Once you get this filled in, you can set up a whole tool roll just
That's
for
right.
your Jeep. And
Okay, so actually that's one of the things that I did want to talk about is these are the tools I work from when I work on my Jeep, right? So I know I have every tool.
Yep, and if I'm not going to wheel for a while, I'll take them out, put them back in the toolkit, and work off that. But I know which ones to grab.
That's right.
to
That's
bring
your
with me.
checklist. Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
And Jerome asked, how do you guys organize your sockets for the Jeep?
I put them in. I've tried all those socket holders that fit inside the tool roll. Sometimes they just end up broken. So to be honest, most of the time my sockets are free floating inside one of these. Oh, I have one that has zippers on it.
Zipper, yeah.
And
yeah.
it's not a big area. It's never tough to find. So.
Yeah, and this is, I didn't talk about this, but this is my tool roll. So this is the first line of defense, and I don't break out a tool bag until...
No way, this is the first line of defense.
Okay.
Come on, here's your code driver. This is it.
You're right. Right. So this is second line, and then third line. And then fourth line is walking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And James Goldman says, I have the hardcore XD60s with 1550 shafts on 40s with a 3.6 in my JKU. Would you carry extra axle parts? When it comes to the axles, I only carry speed sensors for the axles right now.
Yeah, if you've got the big 1550 U-joints, you're going to be fine, especially with that engine. Unless you're like full tilt revving that and that tire hooks up,
Yeah.
I doubt you're going to break anything.
As long as you maintain it well, you check your U-joints.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're a smart enough driver to know if you're bound up, stop trying to get up it.
Yeah.
It's not going to, something's going to give if you're super bound up.
Yeah.
So.
And most of us hope that that's the drive shaft. So, because that's the easiest thing to fix.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you this, when I raced King of the Hammers in Terremoto, I had the regular axles that come in a Dana 60. And that got me all the way through the world's toughest race. So those axles should be fine.
Chase says you don't bring out the tool bag until it's time to fix the cornhole boards on the beach.
Yeah, there you go.
And VB Tom said to try a reusable zip tie to hold sockets.
Yes.
And
I actually have tried that, but then the one I need is always, it just takes me more time, I feel like.
Yeah.
Robert Wheeler asked, what would you say is a high coolant engine temp? Like if it's over 220, one should be concerned?
So, part of the reason that your coolant system is pressurized is that allows it to actually go over the boiling point, right? So, nowadays the manufacturers are running these engines very hot for emissions purposes. So, it's I'm not happy with those temperatures myself. I really like that 195. That's where I'd like to see everything.
Yeah.
And then also what's important is you want your oil temperature about 20 degrees from whatever your coolant temperature is. So if that's exceeding that, then you need an oil cooler. So these are great questions. Most people overlook this stuff. So
I mean, it depends what engine. Like,
yeah,
my LS was running 220 every time I went out on it. I'd be looking for ways to make it cooler.
cooler. Yeah.
Mario said he ordered mini boat side sliders that shipped last week and haven't moved out of California since Saturday, and wants to know if you guys have any guidance if FedEx turns out they've lost his package.
Wow. Yeah. That's
You can shoot us an email and we can have someone
track it or
get
a hold.
get a hold of FedEx and see what's going on.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, sometimes they do just sit. Not often, but we can definitely follow up with it with FedEx.
Yeah, and we've seen stuff get damaged at the hub and one of the FedEx hubs and so.
And Matt Lavender says RCV race joints for spare.
I normally, like when it comes to that stuff, I wouldn't carry a spare, but in my RV or trailer, I've got spares, right? I'm not going to carry one on the vehicle.
No. Yeah, I would have one spare. But I mean, I don't know if I'd have an RCV spare, but I would have the stock spare I took out.
That's right,
Yeah.
to drop back in there. Yeah.
I've only seen one RCV ever explode. This was on the race car Tony driving, my first time in the old 4400 car on an obstacle course at Sheriff's Jeep Fest.
That's right. That's right. And we were on it and we got bound up. So
and
what
then
do
he
you
just looks over and goes, that didn't sound right.
No, that wasn't good.
Robert Wheeler said, good to know. I have upgraded my head unit, which shows more gauges info, and so I'm trying to learn how to see what is out of normal so I know when to stop and look over stuff.
Yeah, okay, so that's a good point. So what you do want to do is when you first get a vehicle, you want to establish what normal is, right? So, on a cold day, that thing might only go to 203, right? But on a super hot day, or if you're in the mud or the sand, you might see that thing up at 221, 222. So you need to understand what the normal is. That's one of the first things we do, especially in the race cars, is start to document what is normal. If I run this thing at full tilt, what's the hottest it gets, on an uphill sand climb. So that's a great point. And I would do that with everything. I would do that with your battery voltage, with your coolant, your trans, like all the temps, any information you could have. Establish what that norm is. So when you start, by the way, when you start to see that go up or out, either the oil's worn out or the thing is about to give up. So
yeah, it'd be a little tougher, like right when you do an LS, kind of establishing that, working everything out. But eventually, absolutely, you need to document it and see exactly.
Yeah, and I think this is on a JL where you've got the gauges, built into the system.
Yeah.
So I know Jennings and I have done that where we'll just pull that page up and watch it, to make sure it's really, if it's climbed, it's actually coming back down. So she had a thing on her JK where the big heavy duty plug that runs the high speed fan there was no airflow at all, and I shoved it together and whoa. So these things happen, right? It's just something jiggled loose.
Yep.
So
Heaven Guard says, "Hey Tony, going from a 4.0 to 6.2 LS3, what parts would be more concern to update or carry more of? Running a Dana 44 8-lug front and 14-bolt rear end." Forgot to add that.
Okay, so you're going to need a crank sensor, temperature sensor. You're going to need a throttle position sensor. If you're running a mass airflow, you're going to either need a spare one of those or a cleaner.
Did you say he was running a Dana 44 up front?
Yeah.
Well,
A spare Dana 44?
well, yeah, that's not going to work. That's okay. That's what I call a forced upgrade.
Yeah.
Just worry about the motor for now.
Yeah.
Do you have a weekly update on the 42-inch Mickey Thompson?
So,
Tire?
I did get an update. Mine are through inspection and ready to ship. So, hopefully I'll have those before we go.
Hopefully.
So, I got some brand new Raceline wheels sitting here.
That's what I need. I need you on an extra 2 inches of tire for me to try to keep up with. Pay him off to delay.
Yeah.
Chase wants to know if you have any details for JK Land in Atlanta. Steve said you would be coming.
We do not yet.
Is that one of our things on the website already?
I don't think it's online. It's on our app, and there's a Facebook event for it.
Okay.
Me and Steve are supposed to talk tomorrow morning. We've both been, our times haven't been matching up, so we're supposed to work out the details tomorrow morning.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be a pretty awesome event. He's got a lot planned for it. So Chase, you're going.
Yeah. So I'm going to be there. The plan is that I'll get there in time on Friday to do like a meet and greet, and we're going to have a big bonfire and hang out. And then the next day, there's something totally different going on. So it should be pretty cool, depending on whether you can come Friday after work or Saturday. This is that page, by the way, to download everything. So on our website, you just go to company, drop down to Tech Talk, and then you'll see all of these as you scroll down, the free downloads. And they're in PDF format, so you're not going to get any viruses. You don't have to worry about anything. And this is all kinds of stuff, guys. This is a vehicle service log. This is shock settings, gear ratios, torque specs. There's a ton of information.
Let's stop on this. If you call us and are asking suspension questions and anything to do with your coilovers, have this filled out to a T before you call.
Yeah, or we can't help you.
We can't help you.
Right.
We're going to just tell you to come here, fill it out, and call us back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, good stuff.
Oh, what was the 15% sale extended to? When?
Is that till
Friday.
Friday, yeah.
Sweet.
So, a couple more days.
Yep.
Okay, we're all caught up on questions, but don't forget our trivia giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
Are people still on?
Yeah, all
Okay.
of them.
All right.
All of them, all right. Okay, so why don't you ask the question?
Okay, wait, we want to know the year?
Wait, we got to know the year too. Let's throw
Yeah,
them a bone.
because this can't be easy, and no Googling.
We're after time. Guys, no
cheating.
Googling.
Okay, this is for a $250 K&N gift card.
What kind of Jeep did Reagan drive?
Ronald Reagan.
Ron-
What year
I think they
and
gathered
model?
that, guys.
Hopefully.
Oh yeah, they want the year, make, and model. Well, they know the make. Year and model.
Yep. Okay, does anybody know
You
what
guys
kind of
rush into
Jeep
Google.
Ronald Reagan drove? We got guesses.
Okay.
I don't even know the right answer.
Well,
So
meantime, when
I know the
people-
right
while-
answer.
While they're guessing, I just wanted to show them the runs and events page. So obviously, Jeff, we're trying to promote this one here, right?
this one, Hot Springs, is going to be awesome. We got a lot of people coming. We're getting tons of questions. Do you have to have 40s? Do you have to have a GenRight Jeep? Nope. Come with any Jeep you have. We're probably going to have enough people to split up into 2 trail runs to do kind of an extreme trail, and then a lot of requests to do the Badge of Honor trail. So we'll probably knock that out and maybe go into a couple lighter runs. So whatever Jeep you have, you're more than welcome and encouraged to attend. Jennings has a smile on her face like somebody got it.
Byron Roberts just got it. 83 CJ8 Scrambler.
Byron Roberts.
He got the year too. We had a lot of incorrect guesses, but Byron guessed correctly.
Congrats.
Way to go,
83
Byron.
Scrambler.
That's awesome.
All right.
That's awesome. Okay, so that's it for the. For
Oh,
today.
one reminder though, it's never too early to start planning for the turkey run.
Yes.
It's the best event of the year.
Yes, for sure. And you can come for a day, a few days, the whole time.
It is
We're
worth the
there
trip.
for
We've
like
had-
10 days. So.
We've had people come from Texas.
Yeah.
We've had people come from
Georgia,
all over,
yeah,
Georgia,
all over, yeah.
and I think they're all coming back next year.
Yeah.
It's well worth it.
Yep. So, and then we'll be at Smoky Mountain. So for all of you from the East Coast, these are going to be our couple jaunts back. So definitely catch up with us there.
Yep. All right, that's all I got. Here you
Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. And we'll be back next Wednesday with more stuff to talk about on your Jeep. Thanks.